All right, we're in St. Kitts, the Bitcoin city of the world, eh? The Bitcoin island, eh? Bitcoin Cash Island. What an amazing experience it's been from an Australian, my first time overseas, not having to worry about exchanging my Australian dollar into US dollar, right? As a tourist, St. Kitts is doing a great job making it easier for guys like myself who travel overseas and just don't want to be worried about being ripped off by exchanges. I'm Bitcoin Jason, and welcome to the Bitcoin Cash Conference here in St. Kitts. We all know why Bitcoin... This always happens. All right, I'm going to talk to you about the awakening that's happening right now. I'm going to talk to you why you are vital, what tools we got, but I'm going to briefly go over that, the economy and retention, why you need to do your part. So it doesn't matter if you're from the first world country, third world country, Bitcoin Cash is the ultimate noble currency for the world. We know it's limited supply, we know it's secure payments, and we know it's decentralized. This is what turned me to Bitcoin Cash. This right here. So I tell you my story. In about 2016, April, I first got my Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin for the very first time. And that was because sometime before I heard on a podcast about some economic news, and then we were talking about Bitcoin. And so by the time it came around to me, Coinbase opened up a facility where I could buy my very first Bitcoin. The problem is when it got really, really popular, it became useless for me to buy my meat pie and a Coke. I cannot use it as currency anymore. I could not use it to buy things. So when the Bitcoin Cash City held their conference, sadly I missed it, but I got the after party type meetup, and there was this stand here for bit beans, and there were candy that was in a vending machine that you can pay with half a milli BCH. And I was like floored because all this time I could not buy my meat pie and a can of Coke anymore because it became too expensive and slow to use. All those Bitcoin accepted here stickers were dropping off, particularly in Brisbane, the valley where I was working at the time. So when I came to Townsville and I saw people buying beer, buying their meals, and I bought my own bit candy with Bitcoin Cash, I have to confess, I cheated. I know, I'm unfaithful. I'm an unfaithful maxi. Look at that. Look how good she looks, man. Wowee. All right, so I'm going to just talk about a vital thing, and that's you. You are vital, and the major thing that I see in today's family, I would say, our people, is that you lack self-confidence to ask, do you accept Bitcoin Cash? I can assure you that if you want to enjoy the dominance of Bitcoin Cash, it takes you to ask, do you accept Bitcoin Cash? Because we are all Satoshi, and we need to do our part. It's up to you to ask. The more you ask, the more chances of success. And the reason why I get to ask you to ask so much is because when you're practicing, you get to learn what the objections are. You get to learn what goes inside the heads of the merchants. And I can tell you now, if you can solve their problem and offer them a solution, the task is much more easier. One of the problems that merchants have, particularly during COVID and after COVID, is that they were struggling to have new customers coming in. So if you can get more customers through their door, that is often a carrot that they can grab onto and go, all right, I will go with this. Because the stats say for themselves, we've got 28.8% of Australians owning cryptocurrencies. All right? We've got like 26 million people in the world. The CoinSpot, which is an exchange in Australia, they've got over 1 million users on one exchange. It's not Coinbase, it's CoinSpot, which is what Australians use. They use for super and stuff like that. In 2020 and between 2020 and 2021, cryptocurrency adoption rose 56%. Now, being a tradie, being in the building game, you get it all the time. When you're having smoke over with the boys, they're telling about, their crypto portfolio, what they're going for. I'll be there, of course, shilling Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency in Australia by 26%. In Queensland, where I come from. Now that's good, because when they start seeing the Bitcoin Cash accepted here stickers, they can convert their BTC into BCH, right? Supporting our merchants, supporting the economy. Data shows that 41.5% of Australians believe that cryptocurrencies will be used in day-to-day life. And so when they see Bitcoin Cash accepted here, it's like when you buy a new car. You think that you've got the only Tesla. But then you bought this car and you see, oh, that guy's got a Tesla. That guy's, oh man, there's Teslas everywhere. That's what happens when you start seeing one Bitcoin car and you see that, it starts growing and you start noticing it around town. And merchant adoption is parallel with also retail adoption. They both work hand in hand. So as retail adoption grows, or merchant adoption grows, I find that retail adoption grows because there's more of a hype going around. It becomes like the McDonald's sign. You see it, it becomes a brand name. So these are the tools that I use, a simple tablet, a stand, which prefabbed, sticker, and the most important tool is the seed phrase card. It's very important that when you get your merchant on board that you make sure that they write their seed phrase down and they keep it somewhere safe. It's more than just adopting a merchant to Bitcoin Cash. You're actually developing a relationship, because the relationship that you want is a hand-in-hand reciprocal relationship. You shop there, they accept Bitcoin Cash, you create a community, they get blessed by it, they're more likely to accept it, more likely to use it, and even if they don't get the why Bitcoin Cash at the time of adoption, soon enough, with enough contact and education, they'll get the why. New customers are more likely, like myself, if I come to St. Kitts, I'm more likely to shop at a Bitcoin Cash accepted here merchant than someone who doesn't. That's just fact. Where I come from is we've got military, the US military come in, we've got tourism. They're more likely to go and spend at a Bitcoin Cash merchant, particularly if they swap over to Bitcoin Cash, than anywhere else, because it saves them exchange fees. We found that this helps us get more leads with our businesses that get adopted, because once you start generating more customers and more traffic through their doors, they like you now. And they're going to say, Bitcoin Jason, I have a supplier. Can you get him onto Bitcoin Cash? Or I have my friend, he has this business. Why don't you talk to him? So this is basically what we do in the Bitcoin Cash City as part of the marketing there. We put them on and we produce these videos that you're going to see here. That gym wear, Vivid Clothing, that's a Bitcoin Cash merchant online store. And as you can see, we try and cover a wide range of industry, not just tourism, but industrial, construction, not just coffee shops, restaurants, but hotels, helicopter rides. And that's the work that we've done this year. I'm thankful for that. Because someone like me that wants to live fully of Bitcoin Cash, it's possible for me. You can get your house built in Bitcoin Cash. If there's a problem with your air conditioner, you can get it done with Bitcoin Cash. We've got Sparkies, or electricians. You know, we've got a load of the Australians coming out. All right. So the bad thing is because I come from a first world country, the why Bitcoin Cash is not completely there. So that's why we have these little carrots about, you know, we'll do your video, I'll promote you, put you on the map, you know, you get to know them, and we work with them to first land them as a merchant and then get them to the why stage, right? As you can see, that's the tourism, you know, that's often a carrot and easy opportunities. Like if they got an online store, they don't have to worry about chargebacks, credit card fraud, and me as a customer, I don't have to worry about my details being online. Like I've already been hacked by some guy over in the United States in Kmart trying to make shopping purchases when I used to have a bank account there. Not there, but I had a bank account. It's becoming more and more feasible for someone to accept Bitcoin Cash and us consumers to use it. Yes, there's amazing technology. We've heard from General Protocol with the AnyHedge system. I've seen the work that Code Valley's doing at Tizio and stuff, and Zapit. I mean, crikey, there's lots of stuff going on. So, what our job as curators is come on board and we keep them informed of what's happening. We hold meetups there, information nights. That way, they stay plugged in. We keep their point of sale devices updated, make sure that it's running smoothly. I do a secret customer to make sure that their tablets are charged, that, you know, their staff knows how to use Bitcoin Cash. And yeah, so that's basically, I just said that. And here's another one. This is a major mega meetup that we have. And so what we do is we invite our merchants to come to our meetups and display their wares, you know, their advertising, stuff like that. You can see DAC Tech there. We use merchants that we onboard. We use them to actually, as part of doing meetups. Overseas, say Japan, United States, Switzerland, you can come here to Australia, buy your fish and chips, get your pizza and an ice cream, and pay in Bitcoin Cash. Now, see that sign there? That sign there allows any customer to make a purchase to buy some ice cream locked at the Australian value. Doesn't matter what Bitcoin Cash is doing, it's always $5. That's my friend John. You guys appreciate all these guys working on and what they're doing. So congratulations to you guys. It's amazing what you've done. And we lost a taxi cab service, but I got a limo. And so these meetups are great for not only for crypto enthusiasts to join and learn about Bitcoin Cash, to use it, but also the general public to come across the hype of what we've been doing to get that more retail adoption. All right, so if you've got a merchant in your area, or maybe you want to onboard one, or you're successful, check in on them, ask them to see how they're going. Keep them educated and plugged in on what's happening in the Bitcoin Cash space. You are vital. I mean, merchant adoption is great, and we need to do that. But people like us that take on the role of curators, I mean, everyone should be a curator because we are all Satoshi, yeah? Developments of what's going on, promote them, intentionally work with them to boost their social media profile and hashtag Bitcoin Cash. Hashtag the business at them so they know that you generally love and care for them. I'm Bitcoin Jason, and with that, I just want to say, you are, I am, we are all Satoshi. Let's do our part. Stay classy, guys. Good night.
Hi. Yes. Well, my name is Marcelo from Argentina. also known as Majamalu or Majamalu in this space. It's a nickname I've been using for many years. And Argentina is an interesting case. You know, we are in love with cash. It's different from your country. People need cash. It's not that they prefer cash. They need cash to survive. That's why I think that explains why Argentina was such an early adopter of Bitcoin back then, when it was just one branch. And I was there, and I've seen it, how it all began. And I always ask myself what Bitcoin Jesus would do in my place. And so I try to emulate Bitcoin Jesus, especially in Argentina. And let me tell you, it was not a fun thing all the time. If you try to do that, you will be called insane. You will be called a genius then, and then insane again. And then perhaps some people will call you evil. And that's, I think, a thing that good, nice people have to learn. If someone who is evil is calling you evil, you should embrace that. You should see it as a sign that you are probably on the right track. We are not used to that, and we try to, because what's the alternative? The alternative to that is to try to appease the bullies. And that is a bad idea, because the bullies are never satisfied. They want total submission. And that's not an option. You will not achieve anything that way. So this is something to keep in mind. If you keep your integrity, you will have to pay that price. And we should pay that price, I think, with joy. Because, again, what's the alternative? Someday, I think you said something like that, our kids will ask you, what were you doing when everything was falling apart? Or what did you do to avoid that? Or what did you do to make the world a better place? And I think if you don't want to have remorse at that point, you should be doing what we are doing. I think I like to call us founding fathers. I don't know why, but many people think that founding fathers, it's a thing of the past. It can't happen again for some reason. It's like miracles in the Bible, and then no more miracles. No, it's not that way. Founding fathers are people that are willing to put up with a lot, even if you don't agree, if you hate them, it doesn't matter. I mean, founding fathers of a big social change or big social project, they are willing to fight for what they believe, and they think their goals are worth it. And I think that if we are not willing to put up even with some minor, discomfort, annoyances, maybe we do not deserve all these freedoms that we claim to cherish so much. But I think that we are founding fathers, and we're going to make it. We were about to make it in Argentina. This is why I said it's an interesting case, because I've seen how it all began. And it all began with a very small group of, let's call them unbreakable people. And maybe you would like to call them fanatics or very stubborn people. We celebrated adoption. We celebrated every new man. This was the original spirit. This was not just in Argentina, but Argentina was in a need of this more than many other places. So without this small core, you will not have this spark that lights the fire. Even if you have lots of money, lots of investors, that's good. That's, of course, fine. venture capitalists, all that. But if you don't have this kind of people, that's not enough. I mean, you need this core. And then a bigger circle of people will join, and then another one. And this is what was happening there. I've seen it. That's why it broke my heart to see what happened then. It all stopped. The adoption ensued. I don't want to go too deep into this, but some people managed to infiltrate and to change, to turn Bitcoin, at least BTC, into some, I don't know what, but it's a useless thing. And it broke my heart. I'm not a guy that is prone to depression, but I was kind of depressed for a short period of time. And that was because I knew that Bitcoin would survive, because I understood the economics, the incentives, the system of incentives that the code is implementing. But I also knew that many people will suffer, and suffer a lot, and for a long time, before realizing what happened. And what happened was that the old establishment, managed to insert itself into this space with the same old tricks and turned this into some kind of mindless casino. And I hated it so much. And then those guys, I saw at the beginning of the pandemic, Leo and Jan, they were giving a presentation about Bitcoin Cash. Those guys, I don't know if they, maybe not even 20 years old. And I thought to myself, who are these guys? And what was very interesting to me is that they came to the conclusion that, yes, Bitcoin was a solution, but BCH was Bitcoin. They were researching every project, and they discarded every project. They were looking for fundamentals, and also for the community. Can I ask someone a question? Can I solve this problem that I have? And they found all that in BCH. They came to the conclusion by themselves. And I thought, well, if they can do it, this can be done. They are not regular people, but they are people. They are not superheroes. So I say, Smithers, I want these guys. And I kept in touch with them, and then other guys joined, the Pelliccioni brothers, each one in his own domain. Fernando is a long-time developer, and Seba is a monster of public relationship. And we got down to work. We started with BCH Argentina. This time with no constraints, no artificial constraint, no limit on the number of transactions. That means no limit on adoption, and with more professionalism, I would say. We started again as a small group of very committed people. And then, surprisingly quickly, lots of people joined, because lots of people were paying attention. We didn't know until we started talking about this publicly. We didn't know how many people were pissed off at what happened. And the community grew a lot. We have many, I don't want to, maybe you want to ask questions. I don't want to go through every case, but we have some success stories. I do want to tell you what are the key factors, I think, that made this possible, this quick growth of the BCH community. One is regular meetups. This is very important. I know that Mark Zuckerberg would not agree with me, but I think that face-to-face, and of course, we all agree that face-to-face is different than online, and it doesn't have to be once a week, but people should expect that. Then education, of course, written material like that one you showed us, but very well done, very well crafted. You need people to understand it easily. Interviews with this Jan is our guy. I don't know how he managed to know so many hosts of perhaps every show on the internet. This is all in Spanish, so maybe you will not find them, but interviews, debates. Not easy to find a BTC guy to debate us, but we managed to do a couple of debates, and that's important because not many people will pay close attention to debates, to arguments, but the people who do are the people that matter, are the people that will join and then will become preachers of Satoshi's word, let's say. Then, well, we have our podcast, and we are always focusing. I know that middleman is not necessarily a bad word, but we are always focusing of the use, direct use, without middlemen, especially without custodians. Another point is previous relationship with merchants, and this is Seba is helping us a lot with that. If you know the guy, if you know the owner, we have an example. There's a mini market. It's like 70 or 80 mini markets in Buenos Aires. 90. They all accept BCH. Why? Because the owner knows this guy. It's impossible otherwise. He is not there because he's making now a lot of money, but he understands the potential benefits, and he trusts this guy. So he's on board. And you can buy almost anything in Buenos Aires thanks to that previous relationship. We have, well, I said I wouldn't do it, but let's go to the next one. Reliable assistance to people. We always have at least one guy responding to any question in our WhatsApp and Telegram. This is very important because if you have a merchant that is not used to all these, perhaps it's easier for us, but not for him. And the first problem that arises, perhaps he's out if he doesn't have someone to ask questions to. Then the next experiment that we will do, and here's Luca is our guy in this. He's now working. He lives in a small town. I think there's promise there because small towns are first because trust is more important. So if you have a very respected merchant in this place, well, people will look it up. People will be interested in this. So if you live in this small place, maybe it's this is our theory. It's easier to saturate with BCH stickers and BCH accepting merchants, and easier than to have this kind of circular economy. And I don't know if it will work, but I think that we have to try everything. Everything that I hear today is fine for me. I don't know which one will be the path, or maybe it will be most of them, or every. But I do know that we have to move fast because the other guys are moving fast also. And well, we know what's at stake. It's we had this in Argentina, this little experiment on economic freedom in Argentina, and unfortunately, it came to an end because of this Bitcoin BTC takeover. But now I think it will. It's happening again, and not only there, but everywhere. I'm very happy for that. Thank you.
Der Staat tut einen Scheiß für die Kinder und Familien. Die Reichen werden reicher und die Armen hier verlieren. Werden aufeinander gehetzt von feisten Journalisten, die aus Angst vor eigener Armut an die Reichen unterstützen. Es ist ein Rattenschwanz aus Feigheit und Angst. Kaum einer hier in Deutschland weiß, was er eigentlich alles kann und was die lebenswerte Zukunft uns jetzt abverlangt. Ist mir egal, ich bin noch jung und deshalb fang ich an. Schon als Kind war ich rebellisch drauf. Will ich was wissen, dann geb ich nicht auf. Ihr lügt mich an, doch ich krieg alles raus. Das ist der Grund, weshalb ich euch nicht alles anvertrau. Lass mir von Hausaufgaben nicht den ganzen Tag versauen. Ich geh raus in die Welt und jage meinen Traum. Umarme neben meinen Leuten jeden Tag ein Baum. Ihr wollt mich blöffen, doch ich bin euch, wie ihr merkt, zu schlau. Der Staat tut einen Scheiß für die Arbeiter und Rentner. Die Geschichte wiederholt sich, ich frag mich, wer da gepennt hat. Für die Gemeinschaft und die Kinder ist kein Geld da, aber für Banken, Verschwender und Verbrecher. Und die Politiker, sie schwafeln und verschleiern. Sie lachen, wie sie ihre Niederlagen feiern. Die größten Unterdrücker nennen sich immer Befreier. Auch wenn bei uns mal keiner ist, der Krieg geht immer weiter. Die Welt ist, wie sie ist, weil die Welt ist, wie sie ist. Netter Versuch, aber für mich geht das so nicht. Ich neige eher zu einer ganzheitlichen Sichtweise. Hab schon viele Antworten gefunden, weil ich reise zu den Orten und den Menschen, die hier leben. Egal wo sie stehen, ich stell Fragen, lass sie reden. Es muss doch noch was Besseres hier geben, als ein Leben lang für seinen Grabstein arbeiten zu gehen. Schon als Kind war ich rebellisch drauf. Will ich was wissen, dann geb ich nicht auf. Ihr lügt mich an, doch ich krieg alles raus. Das ist der Grund, weshalb ich euch nicht alles anvertrau. Lass mir von Hausaufgaben nicht den ganzen Tag versauen. Ich geh raus in die Welt und jage meinen Traum. Umarme neben meinen Leuten jeden Tag ein Baum. Ihr wollt mich blöffen, doch ich bin euch, wie ihr merkt, zu schlau. Die Gedanken sind frei, euer Spiel ist vorbei. Die Gedanken sind frei, ich fall nicht mehr auf euch herein. Die Gedanken sind frei, ich sage jetzt allen Bescheid, yeah. Schon als Kind war ich rebellisch drauf. Will ich was wissen, dann geb ich nicht auf. Ihr lügt mich an, doch ich krieg alles raus. Das ist der Grund, weshalb ich euch nicht alles anvertrau. Lass mir von Hausaufgaben nicht den ganzen Tag versauen. Ich geh raus in die Welt und jage meinen Traum. Umarme neben meinen Leuten jeden Tag ein Baum. Ihr wollt mich blöffen, doch ich bin euch, wie ihr merkt, zu schlau.